Good evening, and welcome to a meeting of the Chesapeake School Board. A printed agenda is available in the back of the room if you wish to follow the business items we'll be discussing this evening. Roll call, Dr. Smith.
Mr. Elijah Colon.
Here.
Miss Amanda Dean.
Here.
Miss Malia Huddle.
Here.
Mr. Mike Lamonia.
Here.
Mr. John McCormick.
Here.
Mr. Norman Poole.
Here.
Dr. Brittany Walker.
Here.
Mrs. Angie Swigert, Chair.
Here.
Mrs. Kim Scott, Vice Chair.
Here.
The next item is the adoption of the agenda. Does the superintendent or any board member wish to add or delete an item from the agenda?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have no amendments to the agenda, but we will need a closed session for required legal matters, to discuss legal matters, real estate matters, and legal consultation.
I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Chair Swigert, oh wait, sorry, not yet, sorry about that.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Lamonia. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Poole. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith.
Motion carries with all board members voting yes.
We will now go into the closed portion of our meeting. I'll ask Vice Chair Scott to read the language to take us into closed session.
Thank you, Chair Swigert. I will get the hang of that eventually. I move that the board should convene in closed session pursuant to Code of Virginia Sections 2.2-3711, A3 and 8, for discussion and consideration of real estate matters to include the acquisition of real property in the city of Chesapeake and consultation with legal counsel regarding specific legal matters.
Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Lamonia. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith.
Motion carries with all board members voting yes.
Before we move into the closed session and in accordance with Bylaw 2-33, we will need a motion to approve the remote participation of Sands Anderson attorney Elizabeth Muldowney, who will join us for the discussion in closed session. I'll entertain a motion for approval. So moved. Moved by Ms. Scott. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Poole. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith.
Motion carries with all board members voting yes.
We are now in closed session.
That is awesome. Thank you very much.
I have my list already on my table.
Teacher applied for a grant to run the project with you guys. So you're gonna give her $1,500. So we're excited. They're running out the real checks in the office. So you get to spend it. Thank you.
reason that you're here tonight is because we really believe in what we're doing with our strategic plan. In Chesapeake Public Schools, we believe that education has the ability to inspire, engage, and empower all learners to achieve their highest potential. Our strategic plan, Empower 2025, is more than just a roadmap. It's the embodiment of a collective vision, a vision created by our community, our educators, and our students.
Our first goal, Goal 1, is a cornerstone of our commitment to excellence in education. It aims to provide exemplary teaching and learning experiences. We're broadening our curriculum offerings to ensure rigorous, relevant, and innovative learning opportunities for every student. We've increased diversity in curriculum resources and revitalized professional learning communities.
Career and technical education course offering have been expanded to elementary, middle school students, giving us a head start on our career path. We are not just being prepared for graduation, we are planning for our future, whether it's employment, enlistment, or enrollment.
Goal 2 focuses on our dedicated employees, who are the corazón y alma, or heart and soul of our educational community. Professional growth is a priority, and employees are provided with opportunities to grow and flourish. The new employee onboarding process has been streamlined, ensuring a more efficient and expedited hiring process. We have also introduced dual employment options for classified positions.
Chesapeake Public Schools is using innovative strategies to build a high-quality, diverse workforce and offers best-in-class employee compensation, benefits, recognition, and a total rewards package that's made us amongst the top employees in the state.
Ensuring that our schools are not only safe, but also supportive places to learn is what Goal 3 is all about. School safety is our top priority, and school resource officers like myself are stationed in all of our schools.
We're transforming our facilities into 21st century learning environments. With interactive flat panels installed in every classroom and implementing a learning management system, students can collaborate and enjoy a more safe, meaningful, and personalized learning experience.
Goal 4 is committed to fostering strong collaborative relationships and innovative methods of communication. We're connecting families with businesses and establishing community partnerships. And schools are meeting regularly to identify needs and provide valuable support for our families. The Superintendent's Engagement Council brings members of the community to foster solution-focused dialogue and input.
Chesapeake Public Schools are proud partners with the military and train and educate their faculty and staff on the unique nature of military families. In fact, Chesapeake Public Schools became the first public school district in the Commonwealth of Virginia to have all of their schools designated as Purple Star schools.
And we continue to update our communication tools, including redesigning our website, providing a user-friendly app, and launching a podcast to increase outreach and to foster a two-way communication with our community, which is, of course, essential and intentional.
Join us as we make a difference in the lives of our students and our community. Together, we can build a brighter future for Chesapeake Public Schools.
Introducing the brand new app for Chesapeake Public Schools. It's everything Chesapeake in your pocket. This is the home screen. Tap the schools icon in the bottom right to select a specific school. Tap the 3 horizontal lines in the bottom left to see all the menu items. To turn on push notifications, tap Settings, select Notification Preferences, and allow notifications. The Events section shows a list of events throughout the school. You can use this button to add an event to your calendar, or tap here to share the event with friends and family. The feed is where you'll find updates from administration about what's going on throughout the school, whether that's celebrating a student's success or reminding you about an upcoming deadline. Search Chesapeake Public Schools in the App Store or Play Store to explore the app for yourself. It's everything Chesapeake in your pocket.
Greetings from the Office of Family and Community Engagement, or as we like to call it, FACE. We are a dedicated department within Chesapeake Public Schools committed to serving our families and working hand in hand with community organizations. We support district-wide events, including Get on the Bus, Multicultural Family Fun Night, Family Engagement Movie Night, the Teen Summit, and Operation Military Families. But that's not all. We also host webinars and in-person workshops on various topics throughout the school year. Our goal is simple yet powerful: to support the schools, empower our families, and foster connections with various community agencies. Our Peak Parent University also provides you with easy access to explore all of our family engagement resources in one place. You can catch up on pre-recorded webinars, access a wealth of educational resources, and make community connections to promote your family's well-being. To access Peak Parent University, simply visit our website at cpschools.com and search Peak Parent University. We're also proud to offer a family welcome and support center at Oscar Smith Middle School. This welcoming space is designed to provide support and assistance specifically for our English language learner families, helping them with enrollment questions and ensuring a smooth transition into Chesapeake Public Schools. Chesapeake Public Schools Office of Family and Community Engagement, where families thrive and communities unite.
Preschool. Got this Rankin. Her give people badges and take pictures of people.
Smile nice for me. I'm gonna take your picture and make you a brand new badge.
My principal is Dr. Rankin. She takes care of patients.
That is a great heartbeat. All right, that's definitely an ear.
My principal is Dr. Galford. She helps the school by operating the schedule. She does a lot in the school, and she couldn't do it at all without Dr. Sweeney.
Bye-bye. Dr. Gafford, do you have a moment? Let me check my schedule. I just need your signature. Thank you. Thank you.
My principal is Dr. Galford, and when she visits our classroom, she just watches us. My principal is Dr. Galford. We wear different clothes and not and she tells them.
Do you know why unicorns never horse around? Because they get right to the point.
My principal is Miss Loudon. My principal watches the school with cameras. My principal is Miss Loudon. She takes care of the school and the kids. Miss Loudon does backflips. My principal is Mr. Sloan. If a person is being bad, he can help them, or if they're being more bad, he can call their parents.
Young lady, how can I help you? Because throwing this lunchbox on the ground was not a good decision. What could you have done instead? All right.
My principal is Mr. Sloan. He do the Friday funnies. He's the first principal that I know that can do that.
What does snowman do in winter?
Sledding.
Chill out.
Mr. Sloan does a turkey dance. Gobble, gobble, gobble.
We do the turkey wobble. We do the gobble gobble. We do the turkey wobble. We do the gobble gobble. We do the turkey wobble. We do the gobble gobble.
this program is a combination of advanced culinary schools as well as work-based learning. So it's really a mesh of both. Students must be seniors, and because this is a full semester course, they have to have room in their schedule, and then they're with us all day. When you come in, you are running a full-service restaurant as well as catering services.
Students get here about 8:30, so we get them 8:30 to 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, we expect them to be ready in the kitchen. Me or Chef Stetton will go down what each person needs to do for that day.
We do a lot of prepping, cooking, cleaning, mostly.
Like setting everything up, cleaning everything, like go over recipes.
I'm learning to cook from scratch and learning new knife skills and other skills that I did not know about before. Sometimes we just cook just to cook, just to see if we can do it. It's fun.
There are so many skills that go along with this. There's no hustle like a restaurant hustle.
If you want to expand on your culinary skills, if you have a work ethic, if you have just a passion to be creative with food and being out in the open, servicing others, then this will be a great opportunity for you.
It's definitely also worth it.
Yeah, it's most definitely worth it.
Take the opportunity, it's worth it.
That is awesome. Thank you very much.
I have my list already on my table.
Teacher applied for a grant to run the project with you guys. So, you're going to give her $1,500. So we are super excited. We're running out of real cash in the office. So, get to spend it. Thank you.
The reason that you're here tonight is because we really believe in what we're doing with our strategic plan.
Greenbrier Middle celebrating 25.
In Chesapeake Public Schools, we believe that education has the ability to inspire, engage, and empower all learners to achieve their highest potential. Our strategic plan, Empower 2025, is more than just a roadmap. It's the embodiment of a collective vision, a vision created by our community, our educators, and our students.
Our first goal, Goal 1, is a cornerstone of our commitment to excellence in education. It aims to provide exemplary teaching and learning experiences. We're broadening our curriculum offerings to ensure rigorous, relevant, and innovative learning opportunities for every student. We've increased diversity in curriculum resources and revitalized professional learning communities.
Career and technical education course offering have been expanded to elementary, middle school students, giving us a head start on our career path. We are not just being prepared for graduation, we are planning for our future, whether it's employment, enlistment, or enrollment.
Goal 2 focuses on our dedicated employees, who are the corazón y alma, or heart and soul of our educational community. Professional growth is a priority, and employees are provided with opportunities to grow and flourish. The new employee onboarding process has been streamlined, ensuring a more efficient and expedited hiring process. We have also introduced dual employment options for classified positions.
Chesapeake Public Schools is using innovative strategies to build a high-quality, diverse workforce and offers best-in-class employee compensation, benefits, recognition, and a total rewards package that's made us amongst the top employees in the state.
Ensuring that our schools are not only safe, but also supportive places to learn is what Goal 3 is all about. School safety is our top priority, and school resource officers like myself are stationed in all of our schools.
We're transforming our facilities into 21st century learning environments. With interactive flat panels installed in every classroom and implementing a learning management system, students can collaborate and enjoy a more safe, meaningful, and personalized learning experience.
Goal 4 is committed to fostering strong collaborative relationships and innovative methods of communication. We're connecting families with businesses and establishing community partnerships. And schools are meeting regularly to identify needs and provide valuable support for our families. The Superintendent's Engagement Council brings members of the community to foster solution-focused dialogue and input.
Chesapeake Public Schools are proud partners with the military and train and educate their faculty and staff on the unique nature of military families. In fact, Chesapeake Public Schools became the first public school district in the Commonwealth of Virginia to have all of their schools designated as Purple Star schools.
And we continue to update our communication tools, including redesigning our website, providing a user-friendly app, and launching a podcast to increase outreach and to foster a two-way communication with our community, which is, of course, essential and intentional.
Join us as we make a difference in the lives of our students and our community. Together, we can build a brighter future for Chesapeake Public Schools.
Introducing the brand new app for Chesapeake Public Schools. It's everything Chesapeake in your pocket. This is the home screen. Tap the schools icon in the bottom right to select a specific school. Tap the 3 horizontal lines in the bottom left to see all the menu items. To turn on push notifications, tap Settings, select Notification Preferences, and allow notifications. The Events section shows a list of events throughout the school. You can use this button to add an event to your calendar, or tap here to share the event with friends and family. The feed is where you'll find updates from administration about what's going on throughout the school, whether that's celebrating a student's success or reminding you about an upcoming deadline. Search Chesapeake Public Schools in the App Store or Play Store to explore the app for yourself. It's everything Chesapeake in your pocket.
Greetings from the Office of Family and Community Engagement, or as we like to call it, FACE. We are a dedicated department within Chesapeake Public Schools committed to serving our families and working hand in hand with community organizations. We support district-wide events, including Get on the Bus, Multicultural Family Fun Night, Family Engagement Movie Night, the Teen Summit, and Operation Military Families. But that's not all. We also host webinars and in-person workshops on various topics throughout the school year. Our goal is simple yet powerful: to support the schools, empower our families, and foster connections with various community agencies. Our Peak Parent University also provides you with easy access to explore all of our family engagement resources in one place. You can catch up on pre-recorded webinars, access a wealth of educational resources, and make community connections to promote your family's well-being. To access Peak Parent University, simply visit our website at cpschools.com and search Peak Parent University. We're also proud to offer a family welcome and support center at Oscar Smith Middle School. This welcoming space is designed to provide support and assistance specifically for our English language learner families, helping them with enrollment questions and ensuring a smooth transition into Chesapeake Public Schools. Chesapeake Public Schools Office of Family and Community Engagement, where families thrive and communities unite.
Principal. Got this right here. Her give people badges and take pictures of people.
Smile nice for me. I'm gonna take your picture and make you a brand new badge.
My principal is Dr. Rankin. She takes care of patients.
A great heartbeat. All right, that's definitely an ear.
My principal is Dr. Galford. She helps the school by operating the schedule. She does a lot in the school, and she couldn't do it at all without Dr. Sweeney.
Bye-bye. Dr. Gafford, do you have a moment? Let me check my schedule. I just need your signature.
My principal is Dr. Galford, and when she visits our classroom, she just watches us. My principal is Dr. Galford. We wear different clothes tomorrow, and she tells them.
Do you know why unicorns never horse around? Because they get right to the point.
My principal is Miss Loudon. My principal watches the school with cameras. My principal is Miss Loudon. She takes care of the school and the kids. Miss Loudon does backflips. My principal is Mr. Sloan. If a person is being bad, he can help them, or if they're being more bad, he can call their parents.
Young lady, how can I help you? Because throwing this lunchbox on the ground was not a good decision. What could you have done instead? All right.
My principal is Mr. Sloan. He do the Friday funnies. He's the first principal that I know that can do that.
What does Snowman do in winter?
Sledding.
Chill out.
Mr. Sloan does a turkey dance. Gobble, gobble, gobble.
We do the turkey wobble, we do the gobble gobble, we do the turkey wobble, we do the gobble gobble, we do the turkey wobble, we do the gobble gobble, gobble gobble.
So this program is a combination of advanced culinary schools as well as work-based learning. So it's really a mesh of both. Students must be seniors, and because this is a full semester course, they have to have room in their schedule, and then they're with us all day. When you come in, you are running a full-service restaurant as well as catering services.
Students get here about 8:30, so we get them 8:30 to 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, we expect them to be ready in the kitchen. Me or Chef Stedman will go down what each person needs to do for that day.
We do a lot of prepping, cooking, cleaning, mostly.
Like setting everything up, cleaning everything, like go over recipes.
Because I'm learning to cook from scratch and learning new knife skills and other skills that I did not know about before. You know, sometimes we just cook just to see if we can do it. It's fun.
There are so many skills that go along with this. There's no hustle like a restaurant hustle.
If you want to expand your culinary skills, if you have a work ethic, if you have just a passion to be creative with food and being out in the open, servicing others, then this will be a great opportunity for you.
It's definitely also worth it.
Yeah, it's most definitely worth it.
Take the opportunity, it's worth it.
That is awesome. Thank you very much.
I have my list already on my table.
Teacher applied for a grant to run the project with you guys. So you're gonna give her $1,500. So we're excited. We're running out the real cash in the office. So you get to spend it.
The reason that you're here tonight is because we really believe in what we're doing with our strategic plan. In Chesapeake Public Schools, we believe that education has the ability to inspire, engage, and empower all learners to achieve their highest potential. Our strategic plan, Empower 2025, is more than just a roadmap. It's the embodiment of a collective vision, a vision created by our community, our educators, and our students.
Our first goal, Goal 1, is a cornerstone of our commitment to excellence in education. It aims to provide exemplary teaching and learning experiences. We're broadening our curriculum offerings to ensure rigorous, relevant, and innovative learning opportunities for every student. We've increased diversity in curriculum resources and revitalized professional learning communities.
Career and technical education course offering have been expanded to elementary, middle school students, giving us a head start on our career path. We are not just being prepared for graduation, we are planning for our future, whether it's employment, enlistment, or enrollment.
Goal 2 focuses on our dedicated employees, who are the corazón y alma, or heart and soul of our educational community. Professional growth is a priority, and employees are provided with opportunities to grow and flourish. The new employee onboarding process has been streamlined, ensuring a more efficient and expedited hiring process. We have also introduced dual employment options for classified positions.
Chesapeake Public Schools is using innovative strategies to build a high-quality, diverse workforce and offers best-in-class employee compensation, benefits, recognition, and a total rewards package that's made us amongst the top employees in the state.
Ensuring that our schools are not only safe, but also supportive places to learn is what Goal 3 is all about. School safety is our top priority, and school resource officers like myself are stationed in all of our schools.
We're transforming our facilities into 21st century learning environments. With interactive flat panels installed in every classroom and implementing a learning management system, students can collaborate and enjoy a more safe, meaningful, and personalized learning experience.
Goal 4 is committed to fostering strong collaborative relationships and innovative methods of communication. We're connecting families with businesses and establishing community partnerships. And schools are meeting regularly to identify needs and provide valuable support for our families. The Superintendent's Engagement Council brings members of the community to foster solution-focused dialogue and input.
Chesapeake Public Schools are proud partners with the military and train and educate their faculty and staff on the unique nature of military families. In fact, Chesapeake Public Schools became the first public school district in the Commonwealth of Virginia to have all of their schools designated as Purple Star schools.
And we continue to update our communication tools, including redesigning our website, providing a user-friendly app, and launching a podcast to increase outreach and to foster a two-way communication with our community, which is, of course, essential and intentional.
Join us as we make a difference in the lives of our students and our community. Together, we can build a brighter future for Chesapeake Public Schools.
Introducing the brand new app for Chesapeake Public Schools. It's everything Chesapeake in your pocket. This is the home screen. Tap the schools icon in the bottom right to select a specific school. Tap the 3 horizontal lines in the bottom left to see all the menu items. To turn on push notifications, tap Settings, select Notification Preferences, and allow notifications. The Events section shows a list of events throughout the school. You can use this button to add an event to your calendar, or tap here to share the event with friends and family. The feed is where you'll find updates from administration about what's going on throughout the school, whether that's celebrating a student's success or reminding you about an upcoming deadline. Search Chesapeake Public Schools in the App Store or Play Store to explore the app for yourself. It's everything Chesapeake in your pocket.
Greetings from the Office of Family and Community Engagement, or as we like to call it, FACE. We are a dedicated department within Chesapeake Public Schools committed to serving our families and working hand in hand with community organizations. We support district-wide events, including Get on the Bus, Multicultural Family Fun Night, Family Engagement Movie Night, the Teen Summit, and Operation Military Families. But that's not all. We also host webinars and in-person workshops on various topics throughout the school year. Our goal is simple yet powerful: to support the schools, empower our families, and foster connections with various community agencies. Our Peak Parent University also provides you with easy access to explore all of our family engagement resources in one place. You can catch up on pre-recorded webinars, access a wealth of educational resources, and make community connections to promote your family's well-being. To access Peak Parent University, simply visit our website at cpschools.com and search Peak Parent University. We're also proud to offer a Family Welcome and Support Center at Oscar Smith Middle School. This welcoming space is designed to provide support and assistance specifically for our English language learner families, helping them with enrollment questions and ensuring a smooth transition into Chesapeake Public Schools. Chesapeake Public Schools Office of Family and Community Engagement, where families thrive and communities unite.
Principal. Got this right here. Her give people badges and take pictures of people.
Smile nice for me. I'm gonna take your picture and make you a brand new badge.
My principal is Dr. Rankin. She takes care of patients.
A great heartbeat. All right, that's definitely an ear.
My principal is Dr. Galford. She helps the school by operating the schedule. She does a lot in the school, and she couldn't do it at all without Dr. Sweeney.
Bye-bye. Dr. Gafford, do you have a moment? Let me check my schedule. I just need your signature. Thank you. Thank you.
My principal is Dr. Galford, and when she visits our classroom, she just watches us. My principal is Dr. Galford. We wear different clothes to medical, and she tells them.
Do you know why unicorns never horse around? Because they get right to the point.
My principal is Miss Loudon. My principal watches the school with cameras. My principal is Miss Loudon. She takes care of the school and the kids. Miss Loudon does backflips. My principal is Mr. Sloan. If a person is being bad, he can help them, or if they're being more bad, he can call their parents.
Young lady, how can I help you? Because throwing this lunchbox on the ground was not a good decision. What could you have done instead? All right.
My principal is Mr. Sloan. He do the Friday funnies. He's the first principal that I know that can do that.
What does Snowman do in winter?
Sledding.
Chill out.
Mr. Sloan does a turkey dance. Gobble, gobble, gobble.
We do the turkey wobble, we do the gobble gobble, we do the turkey wobble, we do the gobble gobble, we do the turkey wobble, we do the gobble gobble.
Vice Chair Scott, would you please read the statement to bring us back into open session?
Yes, Chair Swigert. I move that the record shows that the only items discussed in the closed meeting were those specifically cited in the motion to convene into the closed meeting and those lawfully exempted from statutory meeting requirements.
Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Lamonia. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith.
Motion carries with all board members voting yes.
There being no action items resulting from closed session, we will move on to the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. At this time, I'd like to call upon Pastor Andre Chambers from One Generation Church to provide tonight's invocation. Afterward, I'll ask Zariah Griffin, a 5th grade student from Camelot Elementary School, to lead us in the pledge. Please stand as you are able.
Power, your peace, your protection, all of us being able to come out here tonight to receive instructions as it pertains to the future for our children and how they're going to learn and be able to fulfill their purpose. We thank you again for this leadership in here tonight, all of the board members. You said wisdom is the principal thing, but then all thy getting, get an understanding. Tonight we believe that when we cast vision to talk about the topics, God, we will get not only wisdom, we will not only get knowledge, but we will get understanding. We'll be able to have the words that we engage in power about Chesapeake Public Schools, and that this will be the year that we'll continue to press the mark, to challenge our students and challenge our children to achieve their full purpose and potential through what we're going to be teaching them in the public school systems. So we thank you in advance that everything that be done here tonight will give you and you alone the glory, the honor, and the praise, and we say it all in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much to Pastor Chambers for being here with us tonight, and to Zariah and her family, as well as her principal, Ms. Vaughn, and assistant principal, Ms. Nolette. Thank you all for being here with us tonight. We will now move on to awards and recognitions. The first item under the awards and recognitions is our 2025 Teachers of the Year. Over to you, Dr. Smith.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tonight we are excited to recognize the Chesapeake Teachers of the Year for 2025. And joining us tonight, I'd like to invite to the podium Mr. Mike Bailey, along with his team, to assist with these introductions. Correction, Mrs. Lori Edgar to the podium. Welcome, Mrs. Edgar.
I'm quite a bit shorter than Mike. Good evening, Madam Chair, Vice Chairman, school board members, Dr. Cotton, superintendent, staff, and guests. It is an honor to be here this evening to help recognize our 2025 Chesapeake Schools Teachers of the Year. Virginia has participated in the National Teacher of the Year program since 1964. In 2006, the Virginia's Teacher of the Year program was renamed in honor of the 1989 Virginia and National Teacher of the Year, Dr. Mary V. Bycoveries, and this award honors teachers who represent the best teaching in Virginia. Each school division in Virginia selects a Teacher of the Year to nominate for the Virginia Teacher of the Year. The VDOE, Virginia Department of Education, then selects 8 regional teachers of the year, and from that group, 1 state teacher of the year every year. Chesapeake Schools is lucky enough that we have had 3 Virginia School Teachers of the Year. Tonight we recognize 4 exemplary educators in Chesapeake who have provided their students with the knowledge, skills, and educational experience that will open doors to opportunity and help each student pursue their dreams. Our elementary, middle, high, and overall Chesapeake Teachers of the Year for 2025 have demonstrated excellence through their professionalism and their commitment to our students. Their hard work and dedication positively impacts our classrooms, our schools, and our communities. It's with great pleasure that to start us off, I would like to welcome Mr. Chad Foltz, principal of Butts Road Intermediate School, who will introduce to you our 2025 Elementary School Teacher of the Year.
Good evening. It is my honor to introduce Mrs. Julie Carey King, third grade special education teacher and the 2025 Butts Road Intermediate and Chesapeake Public Schools Elementary Teacher of the Year. Julie has dedicated the past 5 years of her career as a special education teacher at Butts Road, and her impact on her students and our school community cannot be overstated. She is a passionate advocate for children, always striving to ensure the growth, well-being, and success of every student she works with. Whether in the classroom or beyond, Julie is consistently going above and beyond to create a nurturing and supportive environment where students feel safe, valued, and empowered. Julie's kind heart and giving spirit extends far beyond her teaching role. She serves as our chair of our special education department, demonstrating not only her leadership, but also her deep commitment to making sure all students have the resources and opportunities they need to thrive. Please join me in welcoming Mrs. Julie Carey King, 2025 Chesapeake Public Schools Elementary Teacher of the Year.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for this incredible honor and this really special recognition as Elementary Teacher of the Year for Chesapeake. I don't find myself worthy enough of this because it's a team, right? Education takes a village. It takes a village from our cafeteria workers to our custodial staff to our guidance counselors. It is a team, and I couldn't do what I do with children if it wasn't for a team. And Butts Road Intermediate has supported me through that journey. And my journey with Chesapeake Public Schools started a long time ago. I was actually a cooperative office education student at Hickory High School. And I worked at the school administration building back in the day when it was located on Cedar Road as a high school student for the 13 secretaries there. So I got to see the behind the scenes of the hiring of teachers and the process and what things, what that hard work was like for teachers. I went on to college, and I was also hired as an early commitment teacher for Chesapeake Public Schools my senior year. So that was really exciting to come out of the gate and know that I was able to go and make a difference with what I was working with from college. From that point, I went on to Crestwood Intermediate and Georgetown Primary. Great experience. I loved working with them. But I got my master's degree, and I wanted to go on and see how else could I help kids in the public sector. So I went with residential treatment centers for children with psychiatric needs, and also Department of Defense. Brought me back to Chesapeake, and Mr. Foltz had brought me on 5 years ago. So this is my 17th year teaching, and it just goes to show what a journey that we can take in life, right? And I think about that for our children that we work with in the classroom. And special education is a journey. It doesn't mean that it's lifelong for these kids. It means that we need to fill their toolbox with all of those tools and those coping skills so that they can get what they need and go out and start their journey, right? So again, thank you so much, Chesapeake Public Schools, and for giving me this opportunity, for recognizing me, and believing in me. And my goal is to continue to work hard to serve the kids that I work with and their families. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Julie. We appreciate all your hard work. If you would please welcome Dr. Kim Pinello, principal of Hickory Middle School, who will introduce our 2025 Middle School Teacher of the Year.
Good evening. We're delighted to introduce you tonight to a truly exceptional educator, Mrs. Beth Deere, Hickory Middle School's Teacher of the Year and Chesapeake Public Schools Middle School Teacher of the Year. Mrs. Deere's dedication to her student is evident in everything she does. As Science Department Chair, Interdisciplinary Team Leader, and Modern Classroom Project Expert Mentor, she exemplifies leadership and fosters a collaborative learning environment. As a master teacher with National Board certification, she's adept at using differentiation techniques and creating innovative learning opportunities that engage all learners. Her strong background in biological science, combined with her ability to build strong relationships and lead effectively, makes her a respected figure among students and colleagues alike. Whether in the classroom, leading a professional development workshop, or participating in community outreach, Mrs. Deer inspires and cultivates a positive atmosphere. Notably, Mrs. Deer has implemented a self-paced, blended, mastery-based instructional model which prioritizes authentic, student-centered learning. Her commitment to continuous improvement and willingness to share her expertise benefit the entire Chesapeake Public School community. Beyond the classroom, Mrs. Deer is actively involved in the Tidewater chapter of Virginia Master Naturalist and serves as our Assistant Athletic Director. Her commitment to our community is truly commendable. We're incredibly proud to have Mrs. Deer represent both Hickory Middle School and Chesapeake Public Schools, and it's my honor to welcome her to the podium.
Thank you, Dr. Pinello. Good evening. It is an honor to be recognized as the 2025 Middle School Teacher of the Year for Chesapeake Public Schools. As was already mentioned, the award is not just mine, though. It's a reflection of the incredible colleagues that I have been fortunate to work with at Hickory Middle School. For as long as I've been there, our school has been full of hardworking educators who share a passion for teaching and nurturing young people. Their inspiration and camaraderie have made this award possible. Funny though, as a young person, I didn't exactly love school, and I certainly never dreamed of becoming a teacher. However, I was sure I would have a career in the sciences. A few years after my college graduation, an enthusiastic first-year math teacher shared his classroom experiences with me. His stories were so engaging, they were the reason I went back to school to earn my teaching credentials. That math teacher was my dad, Al Skenga, and it was his encouragement that led me to become the educator I am today. Although he is no longer with us, I carry his legacy of kindness, trustworthiness, and strong work ethic with him every day. It is my hope that students leave my life science class with a first-rate education and the skills necessary to be well-informed, compassionate members of society. In my 25 years in this business, I've seen former students become loving parents, brave soldiers, talented professional athletes, and innovative scientists. My heart swells with pride when I think of their accomplishments. And yes, my heart has broken too when I've learned of illnesses, hard times, and untimely deaths of past students. These moments remind me how precious life is and how lucky I am to play a small part in their journey. In closing, this recognition is truly humbling. Teaching is a partnership, not just between educators and students, but with all of the incredible caregivers, colleagues, and community members who make this exciting adventure possible. I am proud to be part of Chesapeake's vibrant educational family, and I look forward to many years of learning, growing, and discovering together. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. Again, we appreciate everything that you do for our students. If you would please welcome now Ms. Kelly Collins, Assistant Principal of Grassfield High School. She's going to introduce our 2025 High School Teacher of the Year.
Good evening. It is my honor to introduce Chesapeake Public Schools High School Teacher of the Year, an exceptional educator, a lover of English, and a dedicated teacher leader at Grassfield High School. As our 24-25 High School Teacher of the Year, Ms. Anderson exemplifies innovation, passion, and a deep commitment to student and teacher success. She brings creativity into the classroom and extends it beyond her classroom, leading professional development with engaging themes such as a Harry Potter scavenger hunt, organizing school-wide events that foster community, like our Powder Puff game for charity, using data-driven strategies to help teachers and students achieve their goals, and instills a sense of grisly pride that transcends the walls of her classroom because she truly is a cheerleader for everybody. Her ability to inspire both students and colleagues make her an invaluable teacher, not only to Grassfield High School, but also the Chesapeake Public Schools family. It is my pleasure to introduce your 2025 High School Teacher of the Year, Ms. Shannon Anderson.
Good evening. Thank you so much, Ms. Collins. After having received the award for Chesapeake's High School Teacher of the Year, I find it a real privilege to be speaking to you all this evening. It was during preschool service week, my 4th year of teaching, that I was asked the question, why do you teach? Like most other teachers, I certainly hoped to make a difference, but that did not seem to adequately answer my why. Several years later, it was Chesapeake Public Schools' Inspire, Engage, Empower motto that provided me with that aha moment. Those 3 simple words have perfectly defined my why. When I think back to my own experiences in high school, the only things I can clearly recall are those times when my teachers made the effort to inspire and empower me. The only content I remember was provided by those teachers who made me feel like I mattered. My hope for those students who look back on their time in my classroom is that they remember me as a teacher who made them feel special and who made them feel better prepared for life beyond high school. I want them to smile and recall a semester of in-depth conversations, student celebrations, and moments where they were willing to examine the experiences and beliefs of others. I want them to remember that one's perspective is based on one's own experiences. Therefore, that perspective is likely to be different than their own. I want them to recognize when someone else is in need, and I want them to show the courage necessary to do what is right, even when it forces them out of their comfort zones. When I ask my students, as I do at the beginning of every semester, what makes a good teacher, they have all responded, and I am talking 100% of the time, that a good teacher is a teacher who loves their job and who loves their students. I truly hope that they see me as one of those teachers. And because I have had the privilege of working with so many of those good teachers, for that reason, I am truly humbled to be here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon, and thank you for all that you do for your students. Finally, if you would please welcome Mrs. Dee Williams from Oscar Smith Middle School. She will introduce our overall Chesapeake Teacher of the Year for 2025.
Good evening. Picture walking down the hall during a school visit and hearing productive noise and laughter. While entering a classroom, you see a teacher dressed like a referee, and the classroom has been transformed into a football field. But the students are learning about the branches of government. Welcome to Ms. Gabriel's class. Ms. Gabriel can remarkably engage students and inspire them to think critically. Her lessons are informative and interactive, utilizing discussions, debates, projects, and encourage students to express their opinions and develop their analytical skills. Like I shared, it is common to see her dressed up in different costumes and uniforms to visually capture the moment for our at-risk students. Another one of Ms. Gabriel's standout qualities is her commitment to fostering an inclusive classroom environment. She creates an authentic culture and community of acceptance and safety where all students desire to excel. Outside of the classroom, Ms. Gabriel contributes significantly to our school community as a soccer coach, community volunteer, and professional development teacher leader. She makes our students believe that dreams can become reality with hard work and a commitment to doing the work. It is my pleasure to introduce to you an exceptional gem in our school and community, our 2025 Chesapeake Teacher of the Year, Ms. Caitlin Gabriel.
Good evening. First, I would like to thank the Teacher of the Year Selection Committee for granting me with the honor of being named Chesapeake's Teacher of the Year. It still feels very surreal to say that out loud. Throughout my career and throughout my life, I've been blessed to wear many titles, from first-generation college student, Navy wife, to coach, and Teacher of the Year. My most favorite title is simply being Mrs. Gabriel to my favorite people in the world. Secondly, I would like to thank the administration team and staff at Oscar Smith Middle School. I often tell my students how blessed I feel to be an adult that can truly say, I love my job. But the truth is that I'm even more blessed to have a school family that makes my job so easy to love. But allow me to be so clear. Teaching is much more than a job to me. Teaching is at the core of who I am. So much so that in my small hometown's kindergarten spotlight, you will find a 5-year-old Kate declare that she cannot wait to be a teacher when she grows up. Each day, I enter the walls of Oscar Smith Middle School and get to live out her dream. Lastly, I would like to thank the students of Oscar Smith Middle School that serve as a daily reminder of what resilience and potential look like. Past and present, I cannot put into words how each and every one of them have impacted and will continue to impact my life. My students have inspired all of my greatest successes in my classroom. I hope to inspire teachers not just in our city, but at the state and hopefully national levels. As I continue on this path and this career we are all so lucky to play an essential role in. In closing, I am so proud to represent Chesapeake Public Schools and view this title as an opportunity to inspire others with the same enthusiasm and passion I feel for this career. Thank you.
Thank you, Caitlin, and thank you for all that you do for your students. On behalf of the Human Resources Department, I offer congratulations to Julie, Beth, Shannon, and Caitlin. We're very proud of each of you. We thank you for the wonderful work that you do to assist and support our Chesapeake Public Schools students. And if everybody would just give them one final round of applause. Thank you.
I would like to briefly add, we had the opportunity to express our appreciation to all of our Teachers of the Year at the recent ceremony that we had for them, but I don't think it is possible to say thank you enough or too many times to these teachers. We're very fortunate in Chesapeake to have exceptional teachers in every single one of our schools, but these 4 honored tonight certainly exemplify the very best of the best. And I would very much like, on behalf of the board and the administration, just to say one more time, thank you. Thank you, thank you. We will now move on to the next item on our agenda, which is the CMSL Fall Chesapeake Champions. Over to you, Dr. Smith.
Thank you, Chair Swigert. And next, we are recognizing our Fall Chesapeake Champions, and at this time, our very own Dr. Jackie Miller, Chief of Schools, will facilitate the awards for these students. Dr. Miller.
Thank you, Mrs. Dr. Smith. Good evening, Chair Swigert, members of the Chair Swigert, Vice Chair Scott, members of the school board, Dr. Cotton and his administrative team. One of the greatest privileges of the Division of Student Support Services is celebrating the achievements and successes of students and coaches in the Chesapeake Public Schools. Tonight is one of those special nights, as we are here to recognize the Chesapeake Middle School League Chesapeake champions who won a city championship this past fall. We will recognize these students in 2 different groups tonight, as well as the coaches who have helped them this school year. But I must leave you with this caveat. Some of our students aren't here because they participate in other sports and are making up those games due to the snow. But I will call their names out so they're recognized. So we'll first start with Group 1. Our first group of students and coaches won the CMSL City Championship in baseball and football this past season. In baseball, our CMSL champions were the Mustangs from Hugo Owens Middle School. They defeated Jolliffe Middle School with a final score of 8-3. They are represented tonight by their team captains and head coaches. Students and coaches, please take one step forward when I call your name so you can be recognized. Luke Gillis, Mason Riddick, Sean Roddy, and Coach Patrick Ace. In football, our CMSL champions were the Tigers of Oscar Smith Middle School. They defeated Crestwood Middle School 66-0. Their team captains and head coaches are also present tonight. Students and coaches, when I call your name, please take one step forward. Malik Huru. Thank you for correcting me. Tavion Roundtree. Tremaine Stevens. And Coach William Blow. Now, if there are any family members in the audience to celebrate these accomplishments of these city champions, please stand now as it's time to be recognized. Congratulations to our CMSL baseball and football champions and their coaches. It's now time for you to move to your right to meet members of the school board. Congratulations, guys. Okay, here's our second group. You all ready? Okay. Our second group of students and coaches won the CMSL City Championship in game day cheerleading, girls soccer, and softball this past fall. In game day cheerleading, our CMSL champions were the Wildcats from Great Bridge Middle School with a combined score of 273.5. They are represented here tonight by their team captains and head coach. Students and coaches, please take one step forward when your name is called so you can be recognized. Cambry Gatzik, hope I said that correctly, Maya Swain, Rylan Wilkerson, and their coach, Grace Ott. In girls soccer, our CMSL champions were the Mustangs from Hugo Owens Middle School. They defeated Jolliffe 2-1 in the city championship. They are represented here tonight by their team captains and their head coach. When I call your name, please take one step forward to be recognized. Ava Brown, Kaylin Ellis, and Coach Aaron Bell. Finally, in softball, our CMSL champions were the Hawks from Hickory Middle School. They defeated Deep Creek Middle School 10-0 in the city championship. They are represented here tonight by their team captains and their head coach. Ladies, take one step forward when your name is called. Eden Lucky, Abigail Mann, Onalyn Whitney, hope I said that correctly, and Coach Shane Smith. Parents, if there are any family members in the audience to celebrate the accomplishments of these city champions, please stand at this time to be recognized by the board. Congratulations to our CMSL game day cheerleading, soccer, and softball championships and their coaches. You may now move to your right to meet the members of the school board so they can congratulate you. Thank you, Madam Chair. This concludes my presentation this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. Our next item on the agenda is the hearing of citizens. During their allotted time, speakers should observe our rules of decorum and know that expressions of concerns and criticism on matters of school policy and operations is welcome. While the speaker's own comments are welcome, they may not play pre-recorded messages. Dr. Smith, are there any citizens who have requested time to speak this evening?
Yes, we have one citizen requesting time to speak.
Thank you. I want to thank the speaker who has signed up to address the board this evening. As a reminder, there are two ways that citizens can request time to speak at our meetings. You can call the clerk's office before 12 noon the day of the meeting, or sign up to speak prior to the start of the meeting. All in-person requests to speak must be submitted to the deputy clerk 5 minutes prior to the published meeting start time. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the board. Once your allotted time is over, we ask that you promptly exit the podium. You may choose to sit in the boardroom if seats are available, but standing or sitting on the floor will not be permitted, and you may not block the exit doors. We would also like to ask that you refrain from any behavior that disrupts the meeting, including the use of profanity, applause, cheering, or jeering. Dr. Smith, please call the first speaker.
Yes, I'd like to invite tonight's speaker to the podium. Please state your name and city of residence before you begin.
Hello, my name is Andrea Lewis and I live in Chesapeake. I am a 7th grader at Crestwood Middle School, and I would like to discuss the topic of school lunches. This topic was brought up on November 20th, 2024, when a student was caught begging for food during lunch when he already had a school lunch. This wouldn't be as big of a problem if the school board would look into adding more fiber into school lunches. Fiber is important for students because it stays in your stomach longer, giving off the effect of feeling full. If you go to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which is currently being used to create school lunches, you will find that the school lunches must have fruits, vegetables, grains, protein, and dairy, which are all very important, but the amount of nutrients is equally important. An example of this would be if you give a kid an orange, you are essentially giving the kid a fruit, but what would be the effects when talking nutrition? If that orange doesn't have enough fiber in it that the child needs to properly learn and feel full, then is it really doing anything? ClevelandClinic.org states girls between the ages of 9 and 13 need at least 26 grams of fiber per day, while boys between the ages of 9 and 13 need at least 31 grams of fiber per day. If you were to divide that up by 3 meals, girls between the ages of 9 and 13 should aim for 8.6 grams of fiber in their lunch, while boys between the ages of 9 and 13 should aim for 10.3 grams of fiber in their lunch. With my personal experience with school lunches and my newfound information, my new concern was if my school lunch had enough fiber in it to keep me full. From October 28, 2024 through November 1st, 2024, I was able to get 14.72 grams of fiber at lunch, which was a little under 2 meals worth of fiber. A problem with not having enough fiber is students will stay hungry, leading to the effects of hunger, hurting students' chances of academic success. The National Institution of Health states students who suffer from hunger often fail to participate in the learning process because they are distracted by hunger. FeedTheChildren.org further states that poor food can undermine children's school readiness, which can be a predictor of academic success. If a student is constantly hungry, it could directly affect the child's grades and overall performance if something is not done about it. My teacher has sent the school board a letter that I wrote addressing the importance of giving students a lunch that will fill them up for the rest of the school day. If you go back and read that letter, you'll find some information said tonight and other information that I found. So please increase the amount of fiber in school lunches to allow students to feel full, perform to the best of their abilities. Thank you for your time.
This concludes our speakers for this evening.
Thank you for sharing your comments. Our practice is to receive information. However, we do not usually engage in dialogue, and that is our intent tonight. If appropriate and not already provided, someone from the superintendent's staff will evaluate your concern and provide a response. We will now consider the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion for approval. Moved by Ms. Scott. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Lamonia. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith.
Motion carries with all board members voting yes.
We will now move to the information agenda. The first item tonight is the monthly financial report. Ms. Glod.
Thank you, Chair Swigert. Good evening. In this evening's board meeting documents, we have included the interim financial report for December 2024. I'm pleased to report that both revenues and expenditures are within expected ranges. Total realized revenue for November and December amounted to $105.6 million, which includes $55.2 million from the state, $47 million from the city, and the remaining funds from other local revenues and the federal government. In the October report, we noted that our final fall student enrollment reached 39,799, which is an increase of 347 students compared to the projected ADM used to estimate the state operating revenue for fiscal year 25. In November and December, enrollment showed a slight decrease. We will continue to monitor enrollment over the next few months as March enrollment will impact the final revenues for fiscal year 25. During the board meeting on January 13th, Mrs. Charity Zellmer presented an overview of the governor's proposed budget amendments and their estimated impact on state revenues for CPS. The projected budget amendment for fiscal year 25 are expected to increase state revenue by $7.7 million, which represents a 2% increase compared to the previously appropriated operating revenue. The primary increases in revenue are due to technical adjustments. As the state releases more information that could affect the current fiscal year projections, updates will be included in future financial reports. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
I don't believe I see any questions at this time. Thank you, Ms. Glide. Next is the gifted education overview. Over to you, Ms. Edwards.
Good evening, Chair. It gives me great honor to introduce one of the newest members to the Division of Teaching and Learning, Dr. Donsuela Wilkins-McCrory. She just joined us in September and has already hit the ground running, and tonight she is going to present to you an introduction of our gifted education program. Dr. Dorn.
Thank you, Ms. Edwards. Good evening, Chair Swigert, Vice Chair Scott, school board members, superintendent staff, and Dr. Cotton. This evening, I would like to provide you information regarding our Chesapeake Public Schools Office of Gifted Education. My name is Donsuela Wilkins-McCrory, and I am the newly appointed supervisor of the Office of Gifted Education. In September, I joined a great team that consists of a director, a supervisor, 9 specialists, and an administrative assistant who are all dedicated to supporting our students. As someone with a degree in gifted education, this topic is naturally close to my heart, but it's even more personal for me because I'm also a parent of 2 identified gifted children who successfully graduated from Chesapeake Public Schools. This experience has given me a unique perspective on the immense potential of gifted learners within our district and how we can best support their growth. The Chesapeake Public School Division is committed to providing all students in grades K through 12 with a quality education designed to inspire, engage, and empower all learners to achieve their highest potential, recognizing that students with exceptional abilities possess unique learning needs and strengths. Chesapeake Public Schools is dedicated to providing a continuum of differentiated instructional programs and services. These targeted opportunities are designed to nurture their advanced capabilities and ensure they reach their full potential, maximizing their growth and development. The Chesapeake Public Schools Strategic Plan Empower 2025 affirms our commitment to nurturing the potential of gifted, talented, and other high-ability students. Through differentiated curriculum and targeted instruction, we engage these students to reach their highest potential and develop their unique talents. Gifted education serves as a key catalyst in fostering their growth and future success. Chesapeake Public Schools recognizes the importance of identifying gifted students and providing them with appropriate educational opportunities. This aligns with the Virginia Department of Education definition of gifted education, which states, those students who show the potential for higher levels of accomplishment when compared to others of the same age, experience, or environment. This definition also is consistent with federal guidelines for gifted education. By adhering to these shared definitions, Chesapeake Public Schools ensures a clear understanding of giftedness and the needs of the gifted learners. Virginia's definition of giftedness includes general intellectual ability, specific academic aptitude, career and technical aptitude, and the visual and performing arts, which is in dance, instrumental music, theater, visual arts, and vocal music. Chesapeake currently provides formal identification for students gifted in general intellectual ability in grades 3 through 12 and visual and performing arts in grades 9 through 12. In the future, we aim to expand opportunities for identification in other areas of giftedness, ensuring that all students with exceptional talents have access to appropriate services and support. A significant portion of the plan addresses the specific procedures used in the identification process. In Chesapeake, we employ a comprehensive approach to data collection, gathering both qualitative and quantitative information to identify gifted students. This includes a portfolio approach with open-ended tasks administered in early grades, kindergarten through second, designed to allow students to demonstrate advanced ability in creative thinking and analytical reasoning. Additionally, all first grade students participate in the Naglieri Nonverbal Ability Test, and second grade students are screened using the Cognitive Abilities Test. This multifaceted approach, informed by feedback from the Virginia Department of Education and current research, supports the identification of a diverse range of gifted learners. Historically, gifted identification practices sometimes relied solely on single test scores, which unfortunately excluded populations of students who may demonstrate gifted potential in other ways. However, Virginia Department of Education regulations now require a multi-criteria identification process. This means that no single piece of information, whether a test score, a teacher recommendation, or a portfolio sample, is the sole determinant for gifted placement. Instead, we consider a range of data points to create a more comprehensive picture of each student's abilities and potential. This approach ensures a more equitable and inclusive identification process, allowing us to recognize the diverse talents of all our students. Chesapeake Public Schools takes a school-based approach to nurturing the potential of gifted learners. For students identified as gifted in general intellectual ability, services are provided within their home schools. At the elementary level, clustered gifted students engage in a concept-based curriculum that expands upon the standard curriculum, encouraging interdisciplinary thinking and deeper exploration of complex concepts. Gifted specialists support this growth through close collaboration with classroom teachers, including coaching, co-teaching, and collaborative curriculum design. At the secondary level, gifted cluster teachers benefit from ongoing professional development through monthly trainings, further enhancing their capacity to nurture intellectual growth. Students attending the Governor's School for the Arts receive personalized instruction from collegiate-level instructors and working professionals, providing an exceptional environment for developing their artistic talents. As we continue to prioritize gifted education, we are committed to exploring opportunities to further expand our capacity and enhance our services to better meet the diverse needs of our gifted students. Talent development begins with early identification. In Chesapeake, we use a multi-tiered approach to universal screening in the primary grades to ensure all students have access to gifted opportunities, aligning with Goal 1 of Empower 2025. Our 7 elementary gifted specialists, collaborating with building testing coordinators, administer the Naglieri Nonverbal Ability Test and the Cognitive Abilities Test to over 92% of our first and second grade students, respectively, each year. These assessments, along with portfolio samples collected and evaluated by gifted specialists and teachers, provide both quantitative and qualitative data to the Gifted Identification and Eligibility Committee, offering a comprehensive snapshot of each student's thinking ability. This approach not only identifies students who may already demonstrate gifted abilities, but also provides a crucial entry point for talent development and enrichment. In addition to the 8,314 students receiving talent development services, we also provide gifted services to over 4,000 students in the kindergarten through 12th grade. This integrated approach ensures that all students, regardless of their specific identification status, have access to enriching learning experiences that foster their intellectual growth and development. The information on this and the next slide were previously provided to you earlier this month. A significant number of identified gifted students at the secondary level participate in advanced academic programming through the International Baccalaureate Program, the Governor's STEM Academy, the Science and Medicine Academy, and the Governor's School for the Arts. It is important to note that these programs are accessible to all students within Chesapeake Public Schools, irrespective of gifted identification status. Chesapeake Public Schools has enhanced its commitment to educational equity this academic year with the creation of a twice exceptional specialist position. This newly established role will provide targeted support to twice exceptional learners, defined as students who possess both exceptional intellectual gifts and a diagnosed disability that may affect their academic performance. This strategic initiative is designed to ensure that all students achieve their maximum potential and aligns with Goal 1 of the Empower 2025 strategic plan. The local Gifted Education Advisory Committee is a key component of Virginia's framework for gifted education, as mandated by state regulations. This Gifted Education Advisory Committee is responsible for reviewing the local plan, providing data-driven recommendations for enhancements to the school board and superintendent, and evaluating the effectiveness of prior year implementation. Consistent with Empower 2025, Goal 4 focused on community partnerships. The Gifted Education Advisory Committee has undertaken a thorough review of Virginia Department of Education requirements. To support this strategic planning process, I convened the inaugural meeting of the Gifted Education Advisory Committee on October 15, 2024. The committee is now actively working to refine the local plan for the education for the gifted. While the Virginia Department of Education's technical review is scheduled for the 26-27 academic year, the Gifted Education Advisory Committee's annual review process will ensure data-informed decision-making and continuous improvement aligned with best practices in gifted education. Here is a visual representation of how we plan to accomplish the work that lies ahead of us. This timeline illustrates the progression of our plan, showing the sequential steps we will take to achieve our goals and the anticipated time frame for each stage. What is the local plan? I'm glad you asked. State regulations require a 5-year planning cycle for gifted education, focusing on identification, service delivery, curriculum and instruction, professional development, equitable representation, and parent community involvement. This proposed plan, charting our course from 2025 to 2030, outlines how we will expand opportunities for gifted learners in each of these areas. Our aim is to hone the identification practices to ensure equitable access to gifted services for all eligible students and to develop enriching instructional experiences that maximize their growth and development. A key focus of our local plan for the education of the gifted is ensuring educators are well-versed in current research and best practices. To this end, Chesapeake Public Schools invest in robust professional learning opportunities for all staff, which aligns with Goal 2 of the Empower 2025 strategic plan. Our gifted specialists actively participate in targeted professional development, as evidenced by their recent attendance at a Virginia Association Gifted Seminar with Dr. Matthew Zakreski on October 28th, and participation in an online session, Making Thinking Visible, in December. These experiences directly inform their work with teachers and students, grounding our gifted programs in research-based strategies. Furthermore, Chesapeake Public Schools has demonstrated a long-term commitment to professional growth by funding and supporting a gifted cohort during the previous plan, enabling selected teachers to pursue gifted endorsements. Our primary professional development work centers on supporting teachers, instructing identified gifted students, while also focusing on building the capacity of all teachers, counselors, and administrators to recognize and cultivate gifted potential, especially among students from culturally, linguistically, economically diverse backgrounds. This inclusive approach ensures equitable identification and aligns with Goal 3 of the Empower 2025 strategic plan to provide a safe and supportive learning environment. Because our gifted services occur in the general education classroom, a continuum of differentiated instruction takes place in classrooms in every school. Gifted curriculum emphasizes cross-curricular connections and the application of critical and creative thinking skills to content using real-world situations. For a very small group of students, the curricular enhancements are not sufficient, and those students may require acceleration in a specific subject area, or even in more rare cases, grade-level acceleration. Despite being in my role for only 120 days, I observed several significant strengths within Chesapeake Public Schools' approach to gifted education. Chesapeake Public Schools has established a strong foundation for gifted education, particularly in its commitment to early identification. The division's robust universal screening process ensures that a large number of potentially gifted students are identified and give access to opportunities. This proactive approach is commendable and sets the stage for future success. Furthermore, the dedication and resourcefulness of our gifted specialists, including the innovative twice exceptional specialist position, are invaluable assets. They work tirelessly to support a significant number of students, often with limited resources, demonstrating a deep commitment to our gifted learners. Building on these strengths, we recognize the opportunity to further enhance the services provided to our gifted students. While identification is key, ensuring these students reach their full intellectual potential requires a corresponding investment in specialized programming and support. Expanding access to enriching and challenging learning experiences will empower these students to not only excel academically, but also to explore their talents and discover their passions. Moving forward, we will advocate for increased staffing and a broader range of services at all levels. This will allow us to build upon our existing strengths and create a more comprehensive system that nurtures high intellectual performance and aligns with Chesapeake Public Schools' mission to empower gifted students to fulfill their life's purpose. If you have any questions at this time, I'm here to answer them. Thank you.
Dr. Walker?
Hey there, this isn't a question, I just have two quick statements. First, thank you for being here. I'm so glad that you had a chance to highlight this. I think sometimes there's such a misconception that teaching gifted learners is easier for whatever reason, but it's truly, truly such a unique skill set. And so I'm really glad that you had an opportunity to highlight what you do and what's coming next, because I know that there's so much important work coming out of your team. And the second thing I wanted to do was just, it's a little bit late, but welcome to Chesapeake. I remember when Dr. Cotton brought us your resume, I was so impressed with your background, and I've heard just nothing but phenomenal things about you from your colleagues since joining the team. So welcome, a little bit late, and thank you for this tonight.
Thank you.
I certainly agree with everything she said, and I just want to thank you, Dr. Wilkins-McCory, for that report. And I don't think I see any additional questions. So thank you again.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda tonight is proposed changes to the policy governing acceptable telecommunications and internet use for students. Dr. Faust.
Thank you, and good evening, Chair Swigert, Vice Chair Scott, school board members, Dr. Cotton, staff, and guests. To ensure that Chesapeake Public Schools responsibly embraces and supports AI, several policy edits were necessary to address language that is not consistent with current practices and/or technological trends. The enhancements to Policy 6-36, Regulation 6-36, and the Acceptable Use Policy are essential to address the ethical use of AI, data protection, and the integration of AI in education. In summary, we are recommending these edits to the Chesapeake Public Schools Policy, Regulation, and Acceptable Use Policy to reflect the integration of AI technologies. This aligns with Governor Youngkin's Executive Order 30, which mandates ethical AI use and data protection across Virginia, and the current policies needed these revisions to ensure responsible AI implementation, support innovative educational practices, and safeguard student data. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them.
I don't see any questions at this time. Thank you. We will now move on to the proposed plan for the establishment of new attendance zones for Crest Road and B.M. Williams Elementary School. Dr. Cotton.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the board. Last board meeting, there was some discussion about the options that we presented. I took it from the discussion that the board was interested in an option 4, so I did ask my staff to put together another option to consider with the goal in mind that we would move all of the classes into the building in an effort to eliminate all of the portables at B.M. Williams, and that's going to be part of the presentation that's shared this evening. I will say that if the board does want to entertain an option 4, you're going to find in the presentation that we want to extend the window to get survey results and as well as public comment moving forward, because that's an option that has not been presented in the past. But with that, I believe Ms. Stutz, Alex is going to come forward. I see him moving up here now and present to you that option 4 and also respond to some of the questions that came up from board members during the last discussion. Alex, we're ready for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cotton. Good evening, everyone. I am here to present an update to our proposed attendance zone options for B.M. Williams Elementary School, which is currently the primary school, and Crestwood Elementary School, which is being built to replace the current intermediate school. So tonight I will be going through a summary of the community survey results that we've gotten back, review the previously presented options, as well as address some of the school board concerns that were raised at the last meeting. So the first question on our survey was, how would you describe your position within Chesapeake Public Schools? We had 4 answers: parent, employee, a third option that was parent and employee for anyone who fit both of those descriptions, and community members at large. As you can see, parents were by far the largest respondent pool. There was 88 parents plus another 12 that are also employees. In addition to that, we had 24 employees and 6 community members. And if you look at our total, that's 130 respondees. Thinking about how big this zone is, how many students and families are involved, that is a generally small sample size to go off of. So our overall results, the number 1 preferred option was option 1 with 55 responses at 42% of the pool. Number 2 was option 3 with 40 responses, 31% of the pool, and the lowest preferred option was option 2 with 35 responses, or 27% of the pool. So how that breaks down against these 4 categories that we have, we've highlighted the number 1 choice for each of the 4, and parents had 46% favoring option 1, employees had 63% favoring option 3, and the people who are both a parent and an employee, 58% preferred option 1, whereas 100% of those community members chose option 3. So to summarize the options that we've presented already, this is the visual summary. Option 1 was that dividing line right down the middle along the Chesapeake Expressway. On the east side in the blue is B.M. Williams Elementary School attendees. On the west side in yellow will be Crestwood Elementary School attendees, and that's true for all 3 of these maps. Option 2 along the expressway until it reaches Battlefield Boulevard. follows Battlefield Boulevard south to the Intracoastal Waterway, and the primary benefit to this one was that it was mitigating the minor traffic concern that transportation pointed out with option 1. Option 3 follows the expressway until reaching Kempsville Road, and then it follows the Kempsville Center Line until the Southern Railroad, and that puts the whole southern portion of the existing zone onto the Crestwood Elementary School side. So these are the numbers for those 3 options. Option 1 is the median of the 3 because it's the one that's straight down the middle with no east-west variation. Option 2 is the one that provides the least amount of enrollment relief for B.M. Williams Elementary School, but it does leave a little bit more room for growth at Crestwood Elementary School. Option 3 has the most enrollment relief for B.M. Williams Elementary School, whereas Crestwood Elementary School has the least room for growth. So again, we wanted to address some concerns that were raised. Board members did ask to see an option 4. As Dr. Cotton pointed out, this is that option 4. The line starts on the northern edge of the zone, follows south along Battlefield until meeting Interstate 64, which it then follows to the west until the Chesapeake Expressway, then follows the expressway south until reaching Oscar Smith High School. Then the line goes southwest to the Intracoastal Waterway. And this, we were going to point this out in the pros and cons as a con, but I wanted to do it where we can see it visually. We have said previously option 1 is good because it's a nice, clear geographical boundary. This is a good example of something that's not exactly a clear geographical boundary. So the numbers for this option, B.M. Williams Elementary School would be down to 618 students for a percentage of capacity of 85%. Crestwood Elementary would be 852 with a capacity percentage of 91%. Right, pros and cons. This would be, of the 4 options, the one that would provide the most enrollment relief to B.M. Williams Elementary School. And along with that, that means that we have the highest potential for removing portables there. There is a scenario where we could potentially get rid of all of the portables, but one of the things that would come along with that is that 2 of the CPI classrooms would be moved into the building. The other 2 would need to be relocated to a different school facility. Cons, along with that, is the highest enrollment at Crestwood Elementary School. And unfortunately with that, of the options, this is the only one where we could potentially have portables at that new building upon opening. And while it's a little bit closer than the other option, it still has the most residential developable land on that side of the attendance zone, which kind of then puts the increased risk that in the short term we'd be adding more portables to that building within a few years. All right, the other concern that was raised by the board was asking about what do we mean when we're saying that we have more land available on the Crestwood intermediate side. So what we did here is we took a high-level view of it and looked at 2 things. The LOS units is the units that have been approved through the city's site plan process. B.M. Williams is a little bit higher on that end, but when you look at that available acreage for residential development, what that is in this zone right now, there's 93 parcels that are already zoned for residential development, meaning they do not have to rezone through the city zoning process. They just have to submit a site plan to get approved, and once that's approved, they can build whatever neighborhood they want to develop. And as you can see on all of these options, Crestwood Elementary School has a lot more of that developable land that does not have to be rezoned for residential. And that's apart from land that is not already zoned for residential, maybe it business zoning or agricultural zoning that they could put in a rezoning application for residential. We know of one, at least in particular, that was a very large one that has come in the last couple of years that it didn't get approved, but they can always submit that application, and then that immediately gets put right onto this total residential land to develop. All right, now that we addressed those 2 concerns, for your consideration, since we did come back with an option 4, we do need to ask you, do we consider this option 4 alongside options 1 through 3? And part of the reason that we asked that is that if so, administration is going to be recommending that we have a bit of a delayed timeline to give us more time for community feedback to do another survey that includes option 4. So I can show you,
Are we opening for questions now?
I can show you the timeline first if you would like, or.
Go ahead, and then
Okay.
we'll open for questions.
So this is the timeline that we already had. We're that fourth row up from the bottom, the January 30th school board presentation, and the next meeting was meant to be February 10th, the next school board meeting, where we'd have had our second work session, our second public hearing work session, and requesting a final action, at which point we would have finalized the rezoning option. If we have to do a community survey, that's only 11 days from now, and that's not enough time for the community to fairly complete a survey, let alone get it to us and us present it to you. So the recommendation going forward then would be to scratch the rezoning being discussed at the February 10th board meeting, because frankly, we wouldn't have any new information for you. And we would come back on February 24th. At that point, we would present the updated survey results and then have what was initially scheduled for February 10th with our second public hearing work session, and then requesting a final action for the rezoning.
Ms. Dean?
Thank you. I just want to make sure, because I'm hoping I misunderstood this. So option 4 would have Crestwood at 91% capacity. But you also then said that there's a potential it would open with a portable. So is that school just too small? I'm struggling with a brand new school, 91 capacity, but we need portables.
Well, so part of it is the special education programs, especially the neighborhoods that we would be adding to that school, and that it has a high population of special education students as well as English language learners. So it's sort of the same thing that we talked about when we talked about why does B.M. Williams have so many portables now, and said, well, they have a bunch of extra programs that they have to fit. They'd kind of be in the same boat there at Crestwood if we really push that limit, because we'd be adding a lot of the special education programs there. That and the classroom ratios are a big one too, where you're not adding for each grade level, you wouldn't be adding a full classroom load. So you would end up with like a really small classroom taking up a room for the entire day, so that even though it's not fully filling that percentage, it's still taking up a room.
Okay, I kind of see what you're.
Ms. Dean, let me try to add a little bit to that. I would tell you, like a K-5 scenario is really not as an efficient building as a K2 or a 3-5, because you have smaller grades per level. You know, if you have 900, you've got 6 grade levels, you're a little over 100 per grade. So they don't. I would love for the students to come in exactly in the grade levels I need, so that we could have, you know, four teachers per each, or 5, however the case is. But unfortunately, the numbers don't work out that way, and that's what Alex is talking about. So you might end up being in a situation where you have to add a teacher because you're over the ratio. But when you add that teacher, what you do is you have a lower class size, and then so we're taking up another class. With the special ed, we very well might not need a portable, but with special ed, we don't know where all the kids are going to go yet, and so we'll have to see. As an example, you wouldn't want, if we only have one ED class, I'm just using that as an example, and 6 of them are in the Crestwood zone and 2 of them are in the B.M. Williams zone, in all likelihood, it would probably go to Crestwood. You know, so those things have to be shaken out. I will tell you, we will do our best to make sure there is no portables at B.M. Williams, and I will do our best to make sure that Crestwood is staffed as efficiently as possible. But I worry that out of all the options, with that option, we are getting so close to the 100. If the ratios aren't right, or we have a little oddity here or there, we could end up maybe needing one. The other thing I will tell you, and it doesn't always happen, but there's also times where you get an increased enrollment because you have a new school opening. You know, and that's not always in the projection, but you do. You might have someone who said, hey, this is an older school, I'm not going to send my child here, and then they've got a new school, and like, you know what, maybe I'll try it this year and won't send my children to private school. We have seen that quite often. We saw that when we opened Greenbrier Middle, as an example, ages ago. And that's not something we can easily factor in. And then the other thing is, which is always, I'm going to say it's a crapshoot, is kindergarten. And both these schools will have kindergarten, and you're really just guessing. We use all the demographics that we have. We look at birth rates in the city, but we really don't know what we'll end up with kindergarten.
Okay, I guess I was just thinking about the process overall, and maybe as we go forward, because there's obviously going to be other, potentially new schools in the future, if it's worth having this conversation around zoning prior to talking about the design of the building, the configuration, things like that, if that would help, aid the process. That's it. Thank you.
Mr. McCormick?
Thank you, Alex, for some of the clarification, answering my question specifically about the residential land, and I kind of have some follow-up on that, just to clarify, so I understand that correctly on that slide. The acreage, so the different acreage breakdowns between BM Williams and Crestwood, you're saying those are site-ready, already zoned residential?
Yes. They're not, it's not consistently one residential zoning. Some of it might be townhouse, some of it might be single-family, what have you, but yes, those are all zoned for residential.
Okay, and that was going to be my follow-up question. If you knew whether they're high density, low density, medium density, because residential can vary.
Yeah, we do know that. We didn't think that it would be productive to go that deep into the numbers coming here. I mean, we absolutely could, but we do know that. It's just that would have been a much bigger, more hard to digest slide to look at.
Yeah, because I mean, looking at like some of the acres, if you have 50 acres, that could be apartment complex versus 50 acres that's R15 or more spread out, single family. It's a dramatic difference for what you might impact or what might impact the schools from an enrollment standpoint. Will you explain the LOS? Because like you had mentioned, BM Williams is higher, much higher in all this. What does that mean? LOS units. On that slide?
That's units approved through the city's site plan process, but they haven't yet been constructed. And I don't think I mentioned when I went through that slide that a big part of that BM Williams side is one single apartment building. Without that apartment building, they're down to like single digits on other units.
That's kind of what I figured. Cause it's like 20 times higher.
Yeah, I meant to actually bring that up as I went through that slide, but.
Mr. McCormick, just to add, that's the level of service number, like on the impact statements that you see. So that's where that number is generated. When we draft our impact statements for the city and we talk about those projected from this residential rezoning and those are on level of service, these are ones that are in the pipeline on the level of service of this particular quarter. And like Alex said, when you have an apartment complex, it bumps up the numbers pretty tremendously on one area or another. But that's what this is. It's our level of service number, and you would see it's the same number you see when we do our impact statements for residential development that's coming through.
Yeah, thank you, Paige. I think you caught me blanking out there for a second about the next thing that I was going to say. Was that the other thing about those numbers is that those aren't necessarily going to be built in the near future. So when we do our CIP presentation, we go through those numbers, and citywide, it's something, a few months back now, it's something like between 5,000 and 6,000 units approved across the city. But citywide, actual built-outs, the last 2 years we did 700, and then through September, our number was below 400. So when you talk about you have over 5,000 units approved, but you're only building 400 to 700 a year, that kind of highlights that even approved LOS numbers doesn't mean it's in the near future. That could still be in the long range.
And LOS is household units. That's not students, right? Or projected students.
It builds out into projected students. So the way the city's LOS policy works is that we track every individual unit type, and then we have student generation ratios. Basically what we do is we take the number of students that we have citywide, and then we know how many units of each type there are and how many students are living in each of those, and it just averages out, and then we expand it from there. So each school has its LOS number of expected students to be generated by basically using that formula.
So then, I guess maybe let me ask this differently. Is that projected students then, like 225?
No, that's units. It would be much lower than that.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
A big difference. Okay.
No, 225 students would be a problem.
Yeah, it would be. I appreciate that. And kind of to follow up what Ms. Dean said, I think looking at some of this earlier and now thinking forward through Crestwood or Culpeper, I mean, starting to look at the rezoning maybe before even getting the sites approved or the design approved might be helpful, because how we're going to rezone might also impact what the building size is necessary and what might need to be there based upon the rezoning option. So I think it could be something helpful to look at more in tandem rather than after the fact. Thank you.
Ms. Huddle, did I see your hand up for a question?
I have a couple of questions. I'll say up front, I'm not a big fan of option 4 at this point. In option 1, 2, and 3, which one of those options shuffles the least amount of faculty?
I can't say off the top of my head, to be entirely honest.
Yeah, honestly, I'd rather Dr. Austin answer that one, and he's not here. You know, I hate to, he's the expert at that, not planning.
Okay, my other question is, on option 1, remind me if I heard this correctly from last presentation, that would leave B.M. Williams with 4 portables, but they were all the preschool portables, and everything else was moved inside the building?
We would still have, so right now there's 4 for CPI, and then there's 11 more for everything else. We would be getting rid of 8 of those, and we'd have 3 remaining, but we wouldn't have any gen ed class. It would be all resource spaces. We'd have adaptive PE out there, but it wouldn't be any of your main classes. So, you know, that means you don't have a large number of students out there at any given time.
So would it be feasible in option 1, if those portables that are remaining are only the preschool portables, that those could be relocated to some other site in the city?
No, I'm sorry, I don't know if we're misunderstanding each other. That we'd still have the 4 preschool portables, and then we'd have our separate 3 resource portables. I'm sorry.
So you'd still have 7 portables there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 for, sorry, I think we got a little mixed up.
Okay.
We had 4 for CPI and then 3 for resource rooms.
Dr. Walker?
Thank you. I just have a couple follow-up questions. I know I've asked a lot of questions about CPI, but they're important to me. So I know on paper they might not fit into all these numbers, but I know in operations they do. So I think I heard you say with option 4, 2 of them coming inside, 2 of them relocating?
Yeah, if we were gonna get rid of all of the portables, that's the way we would have to do it. We wouldn't be able to get all 4 of those classrooms in the building.
Okay.
So that would be the plan if we were gonna try and do that. If we went that route, would be to bring 2 in the building, and then the other 2 would have to be relocated.
Yeah, okay. And just for the sake of asking the question, would they relocate to Crestwood, or would it be somewhere else?
We haven't sorted that out yet, so we haven't even decided if that's the right.
Dr. Walker, I'll answer that one. No, they would not go to Crestwood
Okay.
Elementary. I will add, for the CPI portables, we have had preliminary discussions with leadership and as well as curriculum and instruction, and just talked about really the whole program in general. We do have 3 schools that have 4 classrooms at them, and other schools that only have 2. So we want to look at the hubs. You know, as we've all agreed and rightly pointed out, that they do have an impact on the school. So the ones that have the 4 classrooms, we want to look at maybe if it would be more reasonable to divide and only keep 2 at those sites. At all the ones that have 4, and then relocate them. We're very early in that stage. This is kind of like the first one we were looking at. But I think that also will also serve, the way we were looking at it, it would serve also a larger area of the city. Instead of keeping the hubs. And I'm getting a nod over here from Mrs. Edwards, so I said that correctly. So that's really what we're looking at.
Okay. And then I guess just asking out of curiosity too, because I didn't even know that moving them or bringing them inside was in talks, because I know that I've heard a lot of people say multiple times that the CPI program, those portables are kind of built for that purpose, and they work well for the students and for the staff currently. So I'm wondering if, I guess the best way to ask this is if we still had option 4 with the caveat of like, leaving CPI as is, does that change anything?
Doesn't change the numbers that are in here, because we've got the
Right.
note that it doesn't include CPI.
Right.
CPI. If you leave the portables, then it would be, you would have 2 or 4, depending on what you decided to keep at
Open
BM Williams.
classrooms.
And that would be the only portables that would be there,
Okay.
if you went that route. Our thought was, as Dr. Cotton said, trying to kind of decipher what y'all wanted, we thought the goal was to try to eliminate as many portables as we could and try to get CPI either in the building, so again, they would have no portables. And with option 4, we thought we could do that by taking 2 inside and then trying to relocate to elsewhere. But we could certainly have other variations of that if you wanted to keep all of them together. But again, we also wanted to look at overall where we have the hubs and try to maybe spread it out a little bit more throughout the city.
Thank you. Most of me, off the bat, doesn't like the idea of separating them, but can you repeat something you said, Ms. Stutz, was intriguing to me? You said something about serving more areas of the city. Can you repeat that again?
Well, yes, we have, CPI is 4 classrooms at 3 buildings. And the intent was, we were going to take a look to see, since everybody knows with 4 classrooms, they do take resources and time, and they're on the bus and those type of things. So they do impact the school. So we were trying to make less of an impact at all of those 3 schools that have 4 CPI classrooms. So that's actually Georgetown, Camelot, and BM Williams. And they're really the hubs where we have them at other schools as well. But trying to look at those and trying to say, okay, maybe we would keep 2 at each of those schools and take the other 2 at each of those schools and spread them to other schools throughout the city to serve a wider area.
Okay, so that wouldn't just be BM Williams splitting up their 4. You're talking about splitting potentially citywide.
Right. We would be looking at it with Diane's folks and leadership as well.
Okay. But the application process for CPI would still remain the same, correct? Diane saying yes. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Correct.
I think that answers my questions. Thank you.
Ms. Scott?
Thanks, Alex and Ms. Stutz. I just wanted to thank you again for your hard work on this and for appeasing us and adding an option 4 in there. I have to agree with Ms. Huddle. It seems like the least desirable option in my opinion, although I'm going to obviously weigh what our stakeholders say as well. And I also think that option 4 exemplifies why future growth and services needed, which is definitely unique to the areas that they serve, must be taken into consideration when we are talking about rezoning. And I appreciate that you guys offered us that information from the get-go, because it's not ideal to have to need a portable for new construction, which I think we all probably agree on. So just thank you very much for that information tonight.
Thank you.
So would you like me to keep option 4 or take it off the table?
Yeah, Madam Chair, we really need to, I was trying to wave at you. We really need some direction from the board at this point. I do want to remind everyone, I know I've been hearing things about rezoning before you build, but keep in mind, the new Crestwood Elementary is a very large school. Capacity, I believe, is 940. And as you all know, it's over budget that we had to address when we're building it. So when you're building these schools, you can't continue to add on and add on and add on. The other thing that we try not to do is rezone before we have funding to build a school in this case. So the other thing that we're not going to necessarily be able to do is address overcrowding at one school and get rid of all the portables every time we open a new school. And I have to prepare you for that, because when the new Culpeper comes on board, it's not logical that we would be able to get rid of all the portables in those schools that we're pulling from. The key is to do the best you can to balance that, but then also go back and do additions at those schools so that you can address those in the future. And of course, that's something we're going to have to look at BM Williams. But we were trying to get everybody in the building. That was our goal. You know, even if you all pick a different option, if you decide not to pursue option 4, we're still going to do our best to get every classroom in the building, especially regular classrooms. The resources will be outside For that reason, students will be outside for a short period of time as needed throughout the day, not all day. So that would be our mission moving forward. But what I really need to know from the board is, do you want us to consider an option 4? Because if you do, we need to put out surveys, we need to get more public comment, and if it's a crash and burn, I'll use a different term than you used, Ms. Stutz, earlier, what we will do is we would pull that back, and then we would continue with options 1, 2, and 3, with the caveats that I'm hearing from you, that we want to get as many classrooms in the building and do our best to eliminate as many portables as possible. But I really would need some direction from the board at this point.
I do have a question that I was going to ask before we took the straw poll or however mechanism we were going to do that. Did I understand, and I apologize, if we've either negated this or if we've already discussed it, but there have been so many iterations of the possibilities here that I want to make sure that we have fleshed them out correctly. I know this was asked about option 1 earlier, but I also wanted to clarify whether it was possible with option 3, which was the most popular option according to the small but valuable survey that was done, that enabled us to bring all of the students inside. I know there was some discussion that, based on looking with leadership at the school and within the administration, that there may be opportunities to look at ways to make things a little more efficient or reposition things. And I just wanted to clarify whether that was still something that was possible, whether it's been determined not to be viable, but where are we with that possibility of looking at option 3 with bringing all of the students outside of the portables? Is it the same answer as option 1, where it still remains to be CPIs outside, but everybody else can come in? What are we looking at there?
If you can take 8 away with option 1, you certainly can take a few more probably away with option 3. But again, we're getting to the point where it might be 1, it might be 2. I do think you can still look at the CPI the same way we've discussed looking at it with option 4. Looking at if we wanted to relocate 2, even if you couldn't put them inside. I do think a lot of it really depends on where the special education folks land, whether we have more over at Crestwood or more over at B.M. So I'd hate to say I'm 100% sure that we could. I mean, we think we'd probably be close without maybe the CPI, but those would be the ones I would be concerned to give you a hard yes on.
I'm going to go to Dr. Walker, and then I'm going to ask Dr. Smith a procedural question. Dr. Walker?
Mine's more of a comment / maybe suggestion. When talking about moving, potentially, splitting up CPI, I was just wondering if we might engage CPI teachers and their leadership in that discussion. I just know my experiences with them is they collaborate so much together, and I don't know if that would be a hindrance to their program or their collaboration by, cutting their clusters in half and splitting them up or whatever. So just kind of, I guess more so just a thought out there to see if we're going to engage them in that conversation, as we make that decision.
I'm sure we will. That's why we're involved in curriculum instruction and leadership as well. And of course, we want to also look at their home schools and maybe also get them closer to where they are. And they still would have 2 together, because remember, we do have several schools that still only just have 2. They don't have 4.
Dr. Smith, are we permitted to make this decision via simple straw poll, or do we need an actual vote to determine whether or not to include option 4 and delay the decision process?
I think it's advisable to make a motion to remove option 4 for consideration if that's the intent, and then you can take a vote on that. Or the motion would be to add option 4 for consideration.
Yeah, because option 4 is not on the table now, but if the motion would really be if you all want to consider option 4, I would say, and then that would give us our marching orders, if you will.
I'd like to add just one other thought and wrinkle, and then we'll decide which way to take that. I do want to remind folks that, whatever we do here is going to move in the correct direction for B.M. Williams. And whether we go all the way to where we want to go or whether we take some big steps there, we are going to be heading in the correct direction for reducing the portables and creating more efficiencies and a better learning environment for BM Williams. I do want to remind everyone that if we can't necessarily get as far as we would like to in this particular move, we do have the opportunity down the road to look at, in addition to BM Williams, to continue to look at our capital improvement plan and look for opportunities. There are some chances there for us to do this in a phased approach, where we take this step now at the rezoning process, but then again, look at an addition down the road that gets us the rest of the way there. I don't want to get hung up in feeling like we must solve the entire problem. It would be wonderful if we could, but I think what we're seeing is that it's pretty challenging to do that without necessarily putting us into a challenging place at Crestwood right off the bat. So that's just some food for thought I'll add there, that we do have some opportunities to look at doing this in a phased approach. So we need to, I guess, have someone offer a motion to do one or the other. Either add the fourth and delay the decision process, or if we're feeling like there's quite a bit of feeling that maybe the fourth is not optional, then we can make a motion to keep it as the current process. Ms. Dean?
Okay, so I just have a question. If no one makes a motion to consider option 4, are we saying that we're making a decision, then we're sticking to that original timeline to go ahead and make the decision of the 3 options?
Correct. We would be still within the bounds of, we would make a decision at the next meeting, and it would be choosing between the 3 or some iteration thereof.
Okay.
Dr. Walker?
I think I'm inclined to make a motion to add it, simply because we did get community feedback on the other 3, and just for the sake of hearing feedback from stakeholders, not necessarily that I think it's the best option at this point, but I think it's valuable to hear from the community.
Can you phrase that as an official motion, and then we'll ask for a second?
Yes, I move to add option 4.
Seconded by, motion made by Dr. Walker, seconded by Ms. Dean. Is there any additional discussion at this time? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Dr. Smith?
Motion carries with a vote of 8-1, with Board Member Huddle voting in opposition.
Thank you. We will now move on to the action agenda. The only item on the action agenda this evening is the Harbor Hope Center. Dr. Miller.
Thank you, Chair Swaggart. Tonight I want to bring you a final presentation on concerning the request for approval for the Region 2 Recovery School Harbor Hope Center. You may recall presentations regarding the Regional Steering Committee's work in the planning for the school were provided on the November 18th, 2024 and the January 13th, 2025. So this presentation is designed to provide highlights of the operational and program aspects of the school. And I will go through it rather quickly since you've seen these presentations as well. We will be requesting action through a vote for approval at the conclusion of this brief presentation. This is a reminder of the timeline for the Regional Recovery School Steering Committee, which we have followed to this point, and we are at the point of asking for approval from the board. We also went over with you all at the last board meeting about the Recovery School in Region 2 has not been available to parents, therapists, and physicians and residential programs. So we are targeting marketing will be essential, and the steering committee has outlined a plan for recruitment. Early work of the steering committee involved defining the purpose and the mission of the Harbor Hope Center. And we also wanted to remind you of the foundational level share formula for the fiscal responsibility of each participating school division in the Region 2 Recovery Center. I would also like to remind you that 2 courses of action could be taken based upon the vote of the Harbor Hope Center tonight. If approved, the regional team will continue down the timeline I shared in our opening slide tonight and hire the necessary personnel to plan for the opening of the start of the 25-26 school year. If not approved, the remaining divisions will assess their interest in continuing with the Regional Recovery School and return funding to the General Assembly that cannot be used. I believe I bring the collective hopes of our educators, parents, and community agencies, our Region 2 leadership, and our government officials from the General Assembly and Governor Youngkin for the approval of the Region 2 Recovery School. I am prepared to take any questions that you may have at this time and ask that you consider a vote for approval tonight of the Region 2 Recovery Center. Thank you. That concludes my presentation.
I don't believe I see any questions, so I will entertain a motion for approval. Moved by Dr. Walker. Seconded by Mr. Lamonia. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith.
Motion carries with all board members voting yes.
We will now move on to the superintendent's report. Dr. Cotton.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. I do have some announcements this evening. The Chesapeake Virtual Academy applications are now available on our website for the 25-26 school year. CVA offers full and part-time online learning opportunities for K-12 students in Chesapeake. Students remain connected to their zone school and can participate in all school-sponsored activities, sports, and clubs. The deadline to apply is March 10th, 2025. Upcoming celebrations for the month of February include Black History Month, School Board Appreciation Month. We've got some big things planned for you all next month, and Career and Technical Education Month. The Superintendent's Community Engagement Council meeting is coming up February 5th, 2025. Just want to put that reminder out there. And with that, I'd like to go to our my superintendent spotlight for this evening. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share some exciting district highlights with you again tonight. It's certainly been a busy January so far, and we're so glad that everyone has stayed safe and warm through the snowy weather. Earlier this month, we celebrated Virginia School Principals Week, an annual recognition sponsored by the Virginia Department of Education to recognize the outstanding work of these educational leaders. Our principals are dedicated and steadfast individuals who make incredible contributions to our school district each and every day. It was so nice to see our schools celebrate our principals and recognize them for all that they do, even if some of our younger learners aren't completely sure what a principal's job really is. Take a look at this video.
My principal is Dr. Rankin. She takes care of patients.
That is a great heartbeat. All right, that's definitely an ear.
It's the song that's a turkey dance. Gobble, gobble, gobble.
We do the turkey wop. We do the gobble gobble. We do the turkey wop. We do the gobble gobble. We do the turkey wop. We do the gobble gobble.
Miss Lowndes does backflips. My principal's Dr. Gobble. We wear different clothes and animals, and she tells them.
Do you know why unicorns never horse around? Because they get right to the point.
Thanks to our communications team for doing that. That was a lot of fun to learn that we have principals who could do backflips. That was pretty amazing, among other things. There are so many events that couldn't take place in our district without the support of our principals, including ones like this, the Governor's STEM Academy STEM Showcase. The event is a great opportunity for students to share their culminating projects where they were tasked with documenting, demonstrating, and then defending their work over the course of the semester in several classes, including aerospace engineering, leadership and entrepreneurship, architecture, and more. It was an impressive display of critical thinking and problem-solving skills, and it's clear the STEM students have bright futures ahead of them. Sticking with STEM, I'm excited to highlight Oscar Smith Middle School and their computer science family nights that have taken place this year. From October to January, Oscar Smith Middle hosted 4 family nights for all Chesapeake students in grades 5 through 8. These events were designed for students that are interested in computer science to come and learn more about the opening of Smith Tech, the School of Computer Science, Innovation, and Design. The lottery window for rising 5th and 6th graders is open now until February 16th for the 25-26 school year. More information for families is available on our website. Last weekend, Old Dominion Baseball celebrated Western Branch High School head baseball coach, Mr. Roland Wright, as the 47th recipient of the Bud Metheny Award. The Metheny Award, named after the former ODU coach and the 1943 World Series champion. Bud Metheny is given every year to an individual who has made significant contributions to baseball and Hampton Roads. This year, Mr. Wright was nominated to receive the award for his impact on youth baseball in Chesapeake and the surrounding region. ODU head baseball coach Chris Finwood called him a legend among Virginia baseball coaches and a positive influence on many young men in the entire South Side region. Thank you to Coach Roland Wright for continuing to serve our youth and the community in impactful ways, and congratulations on receiving the 2025 Bud Metheny Award. To close tonight, I'd like to thank the members of the school board who joined me last week in Richmond to visit with our state legislators. It was a productive day and a wonderful opportunity to discuss important issues impacting education in Chesapeake and throughout the Commonwealth of Virginia. We look forward to working closely with these elected officials on several of our priorities for the future of Chesapeake Public Schools. Thank you.
I think we have one extra slide. I'm just waiting for our folks in the back to get with the program. We cannot resist an opportunity to embarrass our superintendent, so we thought we'd add an extra slide in there for him tonight. On January 16th, we got to announce that Chesapeake's very own superintendent, Dr. Jared Cotton, was named Region 2 Superintendent of the Year by the Virginia Association of School Superintendents. This award recognized his outstanding leadership and dedication to Chesapeake Public Schools and his commitment to supporting and advancing Virginia's educational initiatives. In all seriousness, I think I speak for the entire staff when I say it is a great honor and pleasure to have such a wonderful leader representing Chesapeake Public Schools and our community. Congratulations.
That was sneaky. I like it. Thank you.
I certainly echo that congratulations and do agree it's an honor to work with you, Dr. Cotton. Last on our agenda this evening is board member items. Does any board member have an item to bring before the group? We'll start with Dr. Walker.
Yeah, just very quickly, I'm here to join the Fallon Graham fan club because she's gotten so many kudos this week, and I feel like it's worth acknowledging. You always know when your people are good, but then when you hear them get comments from other people, it's just so great. And a lot of people didn't get to hear, but when we went to Richmond to meet with our lawmakers, Fallon was getting all kinds of shout outs for her response time and just how thorough she is in her responses to our team who's working so hard to help represent us inside the General Assembly. So shout out to Fallon. She got another shout out tonight from our attorney. And so just add this to the list of kudos because I just thought that was definitely worth mentioning.
Mr. Cologne?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Last night at the council members' meeting that they had, one of the council members, Debbie Ritter, had a couple of questions regarding the student enrollment numbers. So I would like to ask if our superintendent, Dr. Cotton, could actually send some clarification to Councilmember Ritter along with the mayor and council, along with the school board, just to clarify how the numbers are actually quantified. Thank you.
Mr. Cologne, we're happy to do that, and we've done that in the past. Usually the city manager will reach out to me with specific questions that we'll respond to, but we're certainly happy to provide additional information. Thank you.
Ms. Scott?
Thanks. I want to echo a lot of things. Well, one, congratulations to Dr. Cotton. I agree with Dr. Smith and all the board members. We're so proud of you to have you as our superintendent. I also agree with Dr. Walker and giving Fallon Graham a much well-deserved shout out. She's pretty incredible. And then I also just wanted to give a shout out to the 7th grader who spoke tonight, Andrea Lewis, a middle schooler from Crestwood Middle. Public speaking is intimidating for adults, yet alone a 7th grader, and I felt like you knocked it out of the ballpark tonight. Your presentation was well thought and well delivered, and you gave us some food for thought, pun intended. I agree that fiber is an essential part of our daily diets. So just thank you so much, and kudos to you. And I could see your family when she was speaking, and they were just beaming with pride for their daughter. So I loved hearing from our youngest constituents.
Seeing no additional items this evening, I will declare this meeting adjourned.